Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a comprehensive explainer mapping out exactly how to navigate the paperwork of applying for a marriage license in the beautiful state of Maine. Whether you're a lifelong Mainer planning a hometown celebration or an out-of-stater dreaming of a coastal destination wedding, understanding this legal framework is absolutely essential. So, we're going to break down every single detail from eligibility to documentation to make sure your transition into married life is literally as seamless as possible. Did you know that your marriage in Maine actually isn't legally recognized until you secure this one vital document? It's totally true. You can have the absolute most beautiful venue, the perfect vows, and all your friends and family there. But without a state-issued marriage license, that dream ceremony holds no legal weight whatsoever. So stick with me because we're going to uncover each and every step you need to know for a really smooth application process. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover the Maine marriage basics, gathering your required documents, how and where to apply, navigating special circumstances, the wedding day and beyond, and finally, just a few final reminders and disclaimers. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Maine marriage basics. Right off the bat, let's talk cost. A Maine marriage license application is only going to cost you a flat $40. Now, compared to the national average, which can kind of hover between $60 and $80, that makes Maine surprisingly affordable. This fee covers the license itself and the recording of your intentions at the municipal clerk's office. You'll definitely want to check with your specific town ahead of time, though, just to see if they prefer cash, check, or if they take credit cards. And keep in mind, some towns might tack on a small processing fee for cards. Okay, so once your application is processed and that license is issued, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 90 days to hold your ceremony before the document becomes totally void. And if you wait until day 91, you'll have to start the whole process over again, including paying that $40 fee a second time. But here's some good news. Unlike some states that actually make you wait a few days after applying, Maine has absolutely zero waiting period. You could technically get your license in the morning and say, "I do," that very afternoon. And you gotta love the flexibility you have in the Pine Tree State. Once that license is physically in your hands, it carries the authority of the state seal and is valid for a ceremony literally anywhere within Maine's borders. You could grab your license in Portland and get married on a mountaintop in Acadia National Park. The only strict rule here is that the license cannot be used outside the state of Maine. Moving on to Section 2, gathering your required documents. When you head to the clerk, naturally, you're both going to need a valid, government-issued photo ID. We're talking a driver's license, state ID, or a passport. You're also going to need to provide your social security numbers. But here is the part that honestly trips a lot of couples up. The application asks for your parents' full birth names. Yes, that specifically includes your mother's maiden name as well as the states or countries where your parents were born. So definitely make sure you have this bit of family trivia memorized or written down before you go. Now, let's talk about age restrictions for just a second. If both of you are 18 or older, you're totally good to go on your own. But if an applicant is 16 or 17 years old, they absolutely must have written parental consent to proceed. And it's super important to note that anyone under the age of 16 is strictly not permitted to get married in the state of Maine under current laws. All right, let's look at Section 3, how and where to apply. So there's actually a really interesting contrast between residents and non-residents here. If you're Maine residents, you've got to apply at the municipal clerk's office in the town where at least one of you currently lives. If you live in different Maine towns, just pick one. You definitely don't need to apply in both. But if you're an out-of-state destination couple, you have the ultimate convenience. If neither of you lives in Maine, you can apply at literally any municipal office in the state. Now, clerks do recommend applying in the town where the wedding will actually happen just to make getting copies easier later, but ultimately, it's entirely up to you. The actual procedure, once you're in the office, is a total breeze. Both of you must appear in person. You'll present your photo ID and fill out the intention of marriage application. You have to make sure you sign this form under oath right there in the presence of the clerk. And hey, here's a pro tip straight from the Vital Records guidelines. Use strictly black ink. Since this is a permanent vital record, blue or colored inks can actually be rejected. Once it's signed, you pay your $40 fee and boom, you're officially licensed. Next up is Section 4, navigating special circumstances. If either of you has been married before, you absolutely must prove how that prior marriage ended. You're going to need to bring a certified copy of your final divorce decree, annulment, or a former spouse's death certificate. And pay close attention to this part. It must be a certified copy, featuring a raised, embossed court seal. A simple photocopy you made at home or printed off the internet, that'll be outright rejected by the clerk, for sure.
Now, here's a major gotcha we really need to highlight for anyone previously married in the state. So, while Maine generally has no waiting period to marry, if you were recently divorced in Maine, state law actually imposes a mandatory 21-day waiting period from the date your divorce is finalized before you can legally remarry. Basically, this acts as an appeal period. The only way around this is if you provide a certified court waiver of your right to appeal.
On a brighter note, you absolutely won't need to worry about blood tests in Maine, which I know is a relief for many. The state abolished general blood test requirements a long time ago. But there is a single, highly specific, and maybe slightly surprising exception. If you're marrying a first cousin, which is permitted in Maine, by the way, you must submit a physician certificate proving that you both have actually received genetic counseling.
All right, let's head into Section 5, the wedding day and beyond.
So at the ceremony itself, your first job is to present that valid, unexpired license to your authorized officiant. It's the officiant's legal duty to verify your identities. During or right after the ceremony, you gotta have two capable witnesses sign the license in, you guessed it, black ink. While there isn't a strict age limit, the witnesses do have to be old enough to fully understand exactly what they're signing. Oh, and keep in mind, the officiant performing the ceremony cannot simultaneously serve as one of your two witnesses. After the celebration, you can finally relax because the legal burden officially shifts over to your officiant. They're the ones who must complete the ceremony section of the license, and they have exactly 7 working days to file it back with the specific municipality that issued it. It's highly recommended that officiants mail or deliver this personally. Really, they should never just hand it off to a member of the wedding party to mail, because the officiant is the one legally liable for its safe return. Once that's filed, your marriage is officially registered with the Maine CDC Vital Records Office. But keep in mind, you won't automatically get a copy sent to you. You actually have to go and request it. You can grab certified copies of your marriage certificate from either the issuing municipal clerk or the state office. You're definitely going to need these certified copies to process any name changes with Social Security or the DMV. Right now, they run about $15 for the first copy and $6 for each additional copy you order at the same time. And finally, Section 6, final reminders and disclaimers. If you're planning to change your last name, definitely make sure to list your proposed new name on that initial intention of marriage application when you first apply. Now, just to be clear, doing this doesn't legally change your name the second you say I do, but it acts as vital proof of your intent. When you go to the Social Security Administration later on with your certified marriage certificate, having that proposed name already listed on the state record just makes the whole update process incredibly smooth. Now for a quick disclaimer. Please remember that while this explainer covers the comprehensive current rules drawn directly from state and local guidelines, you should always double-check all specific details with official local government sources. Bureaucratic procedures, accepted payment methods, and fees can occasionally change at the municipal level, so making a quick phone call to the town clerk before you visit is always a super smart move. And just like that, we're at the end of our journey. With the paperwork mastered and the rules completely demystified, you are fully equipped to navigate this process like a total pro. But remember, the marriage license is really just the legal beginning of your story. So, what's the very first step you'll take today to make your Maine dream wedding a reality? Take that step today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy planning.